So yeah, man, it's a fucked up situation. It's I mean, that was 6 years ago, so it's a blessing now. I mean, I'm a pimp, play a pimp now. You know, is the fact that I can afford as many bananas as I want to eat every day, fellas. But talking about eating healthy, that shit's expensive, man. Protein powder and almonds and fucking lean beef. Not even beef is expensive. Oh, so yeah, how do you feel? You know, okay, yeah, being hungry, having no food in the house, go to the fucking this food bank thing, and it takes you go there, right? And then you go through so much shit, it feels like you're getting a job because you got to fill out all these paperwork and bullshit, right? Okay, so then like 4 hours later, they give you this fucking food, these bags of food, this food, and not only you're looking at it like this is what the fuck you expect people to eat. And I'm saying donuts that are fucking crusty and that were expired with the shit marked off of them. Bread that's got green shit growing on it. No shit, I'm not lying to you guys. I mean, I'm telling you the God's honest truth. Some fucking produce that looks like it should have been thrown away a week ago. Some fucking unpronounced, or not, like some kind of weird fucking drink that nobody else wanted. Some kind of weird fucking cereal that nobody else would eat. You know, it's all some fucking off-brand. It's some bullshit, guys. It's some bullshit. And then, you know, guess what? Then you fucking try to go home and put together a meal with this shit. It's like, what the fuck am I going to cook? Rice and some peas. So, okay, guys, rice and peas for dinner. Nothing, you know. Fuck. So there's a solution. There's something way better that we got to be able to do about that. Because even whenever you look at food banks in general, and you look at hungry people in general, you got to get the food to the food bank that comes from all over the fucking place, right? And that is not light, it's not cheap, and it's not easy to fucking ship. And then you got to get the fucking poor people that probably, you know, they got to get to the food bank, okay? Wherever that is. And I've got two solutions, you know, to this. One of them would be, why can't we just fucking donate instead of donating all this bullshit, right? Okay, the food comes from H-E-B. It goes to your house. It gets cleaned out of your fucking shelves, and then it goes back to H-E-B into the fucking thing to take up donations. And then it goes from there to the food bank, right? Then what that food bank, they're like, oh man, we got 72 tons of peas. Does any other food banks want to trade some peas? Maybe they got some carrots on the other side of the fucking world. So maybe they trade those peas for some carrots on the other side of the world. So now we're shipping shit from here to there. Why can't we just fucking, why can't we just donate them a fucking little voucher? Well, the $1 that we donate to H-E-B, right? Bam. Why does it have to go anywhere? Why can't a hungry person just come in and say, I need a can of peas, right? And that money's on a fucking separate account for them. And then they walk up to the cash register and they don't have to give anything, and the peas just sit on the shelf the whole time, right? And that's if anyone actually wants the motherfuckers. Other people can go in there and get something that might actually feed their fucking family. But even way better than that, why don't we do this? And this is what I'm working on. This is what it kind of gets me excited. There's a couple of different aspects that we can go, like there's a program called Robinhood. Robinhood works where during the day, a restaurant, a normal, and this is in London, I believe. Robinhood program works through the Catholic Church. And what they do is, during the day, a restaurant's open. Okay? And everyone comes in and they eat and they do their thing. Well, let's say the restaurant closes at 6 o'clock. Boom, boom. At 7 o'clock, it opens for Robinhood. So at night, in the evening time, the same restaurant's open, but it does. You don't have to pay. Poor people come in, they sit down with the menu, waiters, waitresses, they order whatever they want to eat. They just don't have to pay for it. Now, how great would that feel for these people to be able to sit down with their kids or their family once a week, and whether they can afford it or not, and order a nice meal? And even if they have to do that every day, you know what I mean, in order to get some kind of nutritional value into their family, I think that would be way, way, way better than trying to eat motherfucking oats. You know, let's say oats with no milk, no butter, no sugar, and some peas. I mean, I can give you a better example, but how about vegetarian beans? You know, there's all kinds of crazy shit that it's just stuff that nobody else wants, man, that end up going to hungry people. And it didn't. The one time I had to go to, didn't have to, but went to a food bank to check it out because I was hungry. It was very disappointing. And imagine the people that are in there smiling, they can take, you know, whatever they can get because fuck, they're going to put something together with it. That's who I really feel for. Because I went to the food bank that day and did something else, and then, you know, made a couple grand in a couple of days after that, and I didn't have to worry about it. But not everyone else is as fortunate as we are, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason that the whole reason that I think that I even went through that was just to be exposed to the kind of bullshit, you know, that it really is, and that people should know about. So you look into that. So, pardon me. So yes, I definitely. I mean, the idea of the Robin Hood type program, letting hungry people, you know, not all hungry people are homeless, and not all homeless people are hungry, right? Maybe there's a homeless guy that has his own garden that he eats out of. I don't know. So definitely I'm thinking about this, man. Several of these different problems, not problems, but different, I guess it would be a problem. Homelessness, sick in the hospital, hungry, you know, people run into all these different situations to where they need help. Okay, guys? And in the holidays, instead of us exploiting that, I think what we need to do is that we need to make it our own personal mission to try to do what we can do all throughout the year to try to help some of these things. So I was talking to kind of texted a female friend of mine. I was like, look, I want to start a charity because, you know, I'm tired, man. I'm tired of seeing how hungry people are being fed. And this is what I'm talking about. I would rather... Look, guys, isn't there such a thing as a gift card from places that serve food? Right? Why can't we do that, man? Why can't we give hungry people a gift card? Okay? Why can't they go eat it? Why can't we give them a gift card for Chili's? We give one to Uncle Tommy, Aunt Mary Ann, you know, for Christmas. Even when, you know, that I started thinking about that whenever we had a thing here in Houston, and let me tell you something, the Star of Hope, they're doing a lot of good stuff. The Star of Hope doing a lot of good stuff as far as for homelessness around Houston. And so, talking about homelessness too, why couldn't we don't know, guys, what these people need in their lives. If you need a razor or if you need a pair of underwear, so why can't we just give them a fucking gift card of a $20 Visa card, you know, or a Walmart card? See, that's where I'm headed with this, because these are, you know, some of these people definitely, maybe they have. It's a whole nother show, ex-military out there, because they should give them everything I have, you know, and I should be there because no motherfucking ex-military person deserves to be on the street, man. You know what I mean? Period. And, oh man, there's just so many directions that my mind goes whenever I start thinking about, you know, these people that need help, quote unquote help, right? When the problem, a big deal of that too, is a lot of these people you're going to have to go out and find and give it to them and say, hey, here, because they're not going to ask for it. You know, that's a big deal too. Your neighbor across the street could be hungry, you know what I mean? They're scraping the bottom of their cabinets, and they're not saying anything out of pride. So sometimes it takes going and knocking on doors or hanging out a little bit and getting to know your neighbor and making sure that that 80-year-old woman across the street has got some food, man. Or that young family, you know, down the road have got, you know, something to feed their kids. And let's not take them fucking cans of peas, dude. I think a fucking $50 gift card for Walmart and maybe you know, a card for maybe Chili's or the Outback Steakhouse so that they can take their family someplace nice to eat. Like all of us want to do. Like all of us do on a regular basis, and we take it for granted, right? You know, there's an area there where with homeless people, and I've heard that Star of Hope, what they've got, they've got a mission set up. They're doing wonderful things, as far as I'm concerned, for homeless. And I was listening to a radio show over the weekend, last weekend. And there was a gentleman that was talking about visiting tent cities during the holidays when it's cold and passing out jackets and passing out blankets. And mad respect to that, to take jackets and blankets to tent cities. And what he was saying is that you couldn't let the cameras know that you were there, right? They would get very upset. Because once the cameras, anyone knew that these tent quote unquote tent cities were there, that all these homeless people were there, then the authorities were going to come in and shut them down. They're going to come and make a move. So he was like, yeah, I'm a very low profile. I'll just go out there and take them all, blankets and jackets and stuff like that. And the same gentleman, I wish I could remember his name or whatever, but it was late night the other night. I think it was on the day before Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. And he was saying that the one thing that you don't realize, you know what I mean? And you see also, the gentleman from Star of Hope was saying that some of these people that they could bring to the mission and they could help them at the shelter and stuff like that. But, you know, some of these people didn't want to live off the street. They wanted to live on the street. They wanted to continue their hustle every single day at that street corner and doing what they do. And I'm not saying to support a drug habit or an alcohol habit, but a lot of the times that's what the problem they run into is that if they have drug and alcohol problems, they've got to be dealt with. They got to go through programs and stuff like that. Well, what I didn't realize also, guys, is that this gentleman was talking about tent cities and stuff like that. He was saying that, a lot of these people, they'll come into the mission, but whenever they leave the mission, and you don't think about this, is that they have a weapon. And he didn't specify what weapon. It was like, I guess, what would you consider a weapon? Would it be a bat? You know, after thinking about this, I said, he said weapon. When you go into the shelter, they take your weapon. You know what I mean? They put it away. They put anything like that. Let's say you have a bat, or if you have a bat, a knife. You know what I mean? Anything like that, a pocket knife. Of course, they can't have you running loose in the mission in the shelter with these things, so they put them away. And then what they were saying is that what this gentleman was saying is a lot of times If something happens to that weapon, then they can't just go out and spend another, $10 or $12 for another pocket knife or another baseball bat or whatever they